So you call, you make an appointment with me. I don't do blood and urine testing for amino acid deficiencies. I use a symptom-based questionnaire because I've found over the years that we don't need to do that other testing to assess the amino acids first. So let's do your neurotransmitters. I send you a kit of amino acids. So samples of amino acids in the mail, you get a box. We meet over a Zoom call and we go based off the assessments. You actually open up the capsule, put the contents under your tongue, and then we wait a couple minutes, stare at each other, and we like, hey, how do you feel? Do you notice anything different cognitively, emotionally, or physically? And it really does happen that fast. And so we'll go through the amino acids that I send you, decide which ones are best for you, start you on those. And then we work on foundations. Then we bring in some detox, and then we go from there and see what's left over.
You've tried everything. You've changed your diet, you've detoxed, you've even moved homes, and yet you still feel sick. Headaches, brain fog, fatigue that no one can explain. What if it's not you? What if it's your environment? Welcome to Mold, Mycotoxins, and More. I'm John Bodie. Each week, I sit down with experts uncovering how mold, mycotoxins, and environmental exposures affect your health and what real recovery looks like. Let's get into today's conversation. The information provided on the Mold Pros podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Listening to the podcast does not create a doctor-patient or professional-client relationship between you and the podcast host, guest, or the Mold Pros. The content shared should not be used as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. And always seek the medical advice of your physician or qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition, potential mold exposure, or health concerns. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you heard on this podcast. And while we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, we make no representations or warranties of any kind, express or implied, about the completeness, accuracy, reliability, or suitability of all the information discussed. And guest experience and outcomes discussed on this podcast are individual cases and should not be considered typical results. Your situation may differ significantly. As always, if you think you have a medical emergency, call your doctor or 911 immediately. By listening to the Mold Pros podcast, you acknowledge that you understood this disclosure. I'm your host, John Bodie, co-founder of the Mold Pros. On this podcast, we explore the real-world impacts of environmental exposure, and not just in buildings, but in the human body as well. And we talk with experts who are helping patients recover from environmental illness. Today, I want to give a proper introduction to our special guest, Laurie Hammer. She is a functional nutritional therapist, host of Take Back My Brain podcast, and creator of the Calm Mom Method. She holds a degree in psychology and is certified in nutritional therapy. Laurie personally overcame anxiety, depression, an eating disorder, and credits targeting amino acid therapy with changing her life. Today, she helps others reclaim brain health, emotional balance, and resilience through personal nutrition, neuronutrient support, and coaching. Laurie, welcome to the show. Glad to have you.
Thanks so much, John. I'm so excited to be here, and I love all the stuff that you are doing.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm sure my introduction did not do you justice. So before we dig into our conversation today, do you mind sharing a little bit about your journey and how you became such an advocate of amino acid therapy? And shoot, for many of us that didn't do great in science class, what exactly is amino acid therapy?
What is amino acid therapy? Well, amino acid therapy saved my life back in the day. I was anxious and depressed, had an eating disorder, and I was introduced to amino acid therapy, and my life radically changed because I'm still here. So aminos are the foundation to everything in life. They are the building blocks of everything. You can't have protein if you don't have amino acids. So amino acids are foundation from your hair, skin, and nails. Most people think of amino acids as building muscle, but
Right?
you need amino acids for your digestive enzymes, for your hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, for everything in your body. So amino acids are key. I focus on mainly amino acids to rebuild the brain and specifically our neurotransmitters. And when I was struggling with an eating disorder, my brain was so depleted. And so it kept that binging and purging cycle going, the depression, all of those things. So it was very dark. And then I was introduced to amino acid therapy, and that gave me light again. It lifted the depression, the anxiety, stopped that craving cycle. So then I stopped the binging and purging, stopped the seizures, stopped all those things, and I'm here today. So it did. It literally saved my life. And now I have two beautiful kids, a husband, and two dogs, two cats, a rabbit, and two horses. So life is good.
You you got regular Noah's Ark going on there.
I do. Two
That
by two, we go here.
that's great. You know, for a lot of our clients or patients, a lot of our business comes from healthcare referral. So many people they're struggling from that anxiety, the brain fog. It's a real deal. Insomnia, that emotional volatility. Can you explain how mold exposure, from your experience, have you seen how it impacts the brain function and neurotransmitter balance?
Oh my gosh, it impacts it profoundly. Like you're just saying, the brain fog, the anxiety. People are like, all of a sudden, I just have anxiety, and they have no idea why. And you go through the health history and stuff. When did it start? This and that. Usually, you can pinpoint a time, in their life where it started. And a lot of times, it was an environmental issue going on, and a lot
Mhm.
of times, that environmental issue was mold. So I see a lot of neurotransmitter depletion, a lot of sleeplessness. All of a sudden, people have hormone issues that they didn't have before after being exposed to mold. Anger issues. Kids all of a sudden are more ADD, and you think, oh gosh, what's wrong with my kid?
Mhm.
Might have mold in your house. So we always want to check those things. So profound mood changes, and cognition changes when there's a mold exposure.
You've cleaned, repainted, and replaced filters, and still, you're not getting better. Headache, fatigue, brain fog, the doctors can't explain it, but your environment can. At the Mold Pros, we specialize in uncovering what's hidden in plain sight. Our environmental testing looks beyond surface mold, identifying bacteria, volatile organic compounds, and even mycotoxins in the air that you breathe. Then we correlate those results with your clinical data, showing how your space may be affecting your health. Next, we use our patented remediation process to safely remove toxins, restore balance, and prevent them from returning. It's more than just a cleanup. It's a science-based system designed to help your body heal by healing the environment first. If you're ready to breathe freely again, visit themoldpros.com and schedule your free consultation. Because wellness doesn't start in the doctor's office. It starts where you live. Now, we talked about neurotransmitter balance. Can we dig a little bit deeper? What the heck is that?
Yeah. So we've got neurotransmitters in our body. Specifically, we have neurotransmitters that regulate our mood,
Hmm.
and so that we can think correctly. So, like serotonin is our inner sunshine. So when serotonin is amplified and there's enough of it in our body, everything looks sunny to us. Like life is really good. If you don't have enough serotonin, you are anxious, depressed, you have PMS, you're angry at the drop of a hat. You have different types of food cravings, maybe late afternoon or early evening. You have a hard time getting to sleep, hard time staying asleep. You're kind of hyperactive in your thoughts. You kind of rabbit trail all around, those kind of things. So that can be a serotonin deficiency. That is your serotonin neurotransmitter. Another neurotransmitter I deal with is GABA. GABA is a neurotransmitter that lets us take a deep breath and let it all
Okay.
out. And then we respond appropriately to stress. So if you don't have enough GABA, your shoulders are up to your ears, you're tense, you're tight, you're overwhelmed, you're anxious all the time. And then there's our catecholamines. Catecholamines give us our drive, our focus, our want to in life. And so when those are depleted, that's when you have the ADD, ADHD, apathy, the apathetic depression. Your mental energy is low, lots of brain fog. And then endorphins is the other piece that we love to assess. And that's where we just have that inner joy. We just feel good and yummy inside, kind of
Hmm.
like a warm sweater and a cup of coffee warm. If you don't have enough endorphins, you cry a lot. You're emotionally sensitive. Maybe you have a lot of physical sensitivities, fibromyalgia, those types of things. And then we balance all that out with glucose. So your glucose has to be stable in order for your neurotransmitters to fire correctly. And there's amino acids and stuff that balance all of those.
It sounds a little more complex than what you would think.
Yeah, it's not just about muscle building. Yeah. Our body is beautiful, it's complex, and yet it's so basic at the same time. It doesn't take much for those complex systems to work correctly.
Yeah, and I would add it's resilient, and we'll talk a little
So
bit more about
resilient.
that at the tail end of this. So, you know, there's kind of a standard protocol or pathway that we see everyone going down. Like, so the suspect they have environmental illness, whether it's mold, mycotoxins, or it could be bacteria or VOCs or whatever.
Yeah.
And they go through and they'll start the the detox protocols, right? Whether it's taking cholestyramine or some of these other, whatever it is. But what I was really interested to learn about after visiting your website and seeing some of the work that you do is, so everyone's familiar with that detox process, but this is kind of an augmented or additional step, right? And so I'd like
Right.
to learn, or if you could share a little bit about how that brain nutrient support actually, how how it's essential during that recovery process and that detox
Yeah.
process.
It is because your body relies on amino acids to help with that detox process. And if your nervous system, if your brain is stuck, so when you have an environmental illness or any illness for that matter, and your nervous system is stuck, your body can't heal. It's not going to release those mycotoxins. It's not going to release those heavy metals in your body because it's still in survival mode. So,
Mm,
what the amino acid therapy does is calms the brain, calms that nervous system so that your body can let go. And that's what we want. When we've been exposed to mold, heavy metals, all those kind of things,
hmm.
our body will drive those deeper into our body the more stressed out our body is. And so we don't want that to happen. We want the body to be relaxed. We want the body to feel safe so that the body can release those toxins so that you can heal and so that your brain fog goes away, your body aches and pains, whatever is affecting you from this environmental illness. When we calm the brain first, that nervous system support, then everything else gets easier to deal with.
Have you seen, for someone that's kind of going through this, you've been in this for a while, are there any like particular patterns as it relates to symptoms that would suggest that maybe someone would benefit from this amino acid therapy or support, as it relates to, the mood, sleep, and motivation? Is it something you recommend for everybody that's going down this pathway, or how would they
I
know that this is the path to go down? I guess is my
Yeah,
question.
I haven't met anybody who has an environmental illness that doesn't have an amino acid deficiency.
Okay.
Actually, every single client that comes to me, I mean, it would be really, really rare in the last 20 plus years that I wouldn't do amino acid therapy with somebody. Like, I can't imagine not doing it because everybody has some sort of issue of deficiency that we need to fix. And if you have an illness, you have a deficiency, and foundation to every deficiency is amino acids.
Got it. Got it. Understood. So if they're going through these detox protocols, and like we said, some of them can be really harsh. Some people
Mhm.
just can't tolerate them. Does the amino acid protocol, does it just help them tolerate? Does it help them expedite? What's the value add, for
Value
adding
adds
this
that,
to that?
yeah, it allows your body to have better opportunity to detox. So when that nervous system is calm, your body can detox better. And I would argue that you don't have to do those really harsh detox protocols either. I don't do those with my mold clients. I do detox, but I don't push the body beyond where the body needs to be pushed at the moment. And so I do take a gentler approach. So I start with the amino acids. We assess, diet, lifestyle, all the basic stuff. Then we incorporate, some of those detox things as the body's able to handle it. So as your nervous system is healing and calming down, then we can detox.
Got it. It almost sounds like, you just kind of use an analogy. It's, before you plant a crop, you have to get the soil where it needs to
Yeah,
be,
exactly.
from fertilizing it, get it to where it can receive, what it's
Mhm.
going to get to move on to the next stage. So is it, I guess it's, to wrap my little small brain around it, that seems like that's what you're doing. It's just really laying
Yes,
the
we're preparing the
foundation to
terrain.
be able. Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. All right. Very good. Is a lot of your work just kind of digging into your, how you help folks? Do you partner with other practitioners, or is a lot of it, uh, patient directly contacting you? How does that
Yeah,
normally
it's
work?
it's a mix. A lot of it's just patient direct because they'll hear me on a podcast or something like that, word of mouth. So that's how I generally get all of that. But I do work in cohesiveness with a lot of other practitioners in the
Hmm.
industry as well, and people like yourself, or different mold remediation companies will refer people to me, or whatever it may be.
I think that's really important. We've long believed that the best patient outcomes happens when it's multiple folks helping out with their individual specialty, right? So it's
Mhm.
that collaborative approach that really provides for the best outcome for the patients. So,
Oh, absolutely. And I love to be able to refer out too. So, I mean, that collaboration is huge. Like, I have a family right now, they've never had their ducts cleaned ever. And they had mold in their house, and nobody told them to get their ducts cleaned. And I said, "How long have you lived in this house?" And they told me how long, and they got their ducts clean. And the wife, of course, because we women are the canaries in the coal mine. So all of you men
generally,
listening out there, if your wife says there's a mold issue, I guarantee that there's a mold issue. She is affected. The kids are affected. Even if you are not feeling it, smelling it, seeing it, I guarantee it's there. So listen to the canary in the coal mine, okay? So and she's like, I feel so much better. She knows there's a difference in the kids, the dogs, and all those kind of things. So
speaking of that, I think you have one in the background.
I,
You've got
I have two in my office right now. The one likes to appear in the videos quite often.
that is hilarious.
Yes,
If I were today, I'm on the road traveling to one of our branches, and normally if in my office, I would have one as well. That makes a great work days having
it
the fur
does.
babies there with you.
Yes,
Pile on with what you said. You're right. It's typically, unfortunately, we hear it all too often. It's ladies just tend to be more perceptive or
it's our
sensitive to these
hormones.
sorts of things.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we do some pretty advanced testing when we come in. So we'll do standardized mold testing, of course, but also we can do some pretty advanced polymerase chain reaction or DNA testing that is super sensitive. And then of course we do mycotoxin testing, et cetera. And we get those labs back and we go over it. And I can't tell you how many times I hear someone saying, "See, I told you I wasn't crazy."
right.
It gives them a scientific validation of what they've been going through.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Then I'm not picking on you hubbies out there, but you kind of hold things up,
yeah,
especially when it
sometimes.
comes to this. It is because usually you can't see it, smell it, you don't feel it, but it's there.
Yeah, it's not it. Yeah, if it's not your reality, you're not living it.
Yeah.
But it's difficult for people, I think, to wrap their brains around. Well, we're here in the same house, so if it really a big deal, we wouldn't we all be
Wouldn't we all be sick?
symptomatic,
Yeah,
right?
we all get bit by the
Yeah,
same tick too, and only one person has Lyme. So, I mean, it just depends on the person's terrain and how it's
yeah,
affecting them. Yeah.
no doubt about it.
Mhm.
So, we talk about the environmental side of things, and of course, that's the first step is to really well, we always say that to make really good data-driven decisions, let science dictate, and so that's the reason why we do some of that comprehensive testing, but
Yeah.
obviously, it makes no sense to treat the body without treating the environment because you're just gonna get
Right.
re-exposed. So that's kinda like step 1, and then when you focus on treating the person, um, are there any practical steps or simple steps that you would recommend, whether it's for a practitioner or for a homeowner, to begin to support that brain health along with that detoxification? What kinda walk me through that journey of how you get that path added to or going down?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm always adding in the amino acid therapy. So, we're assessing people where they are, what they're deficient in, and then we support that deficiency with those targeted amino acids. So, we're going to talk about those 5 areas: the serotonin, the endorphin, catecholamines, GABA, and glucose regulation. So, if your
Mhm.
glucose isn't balanced, your brain can't be balanced, and you will continuously have a deficiency, and you're not going to be able to detox. So, we focus on calming that brain down, balancing the glucose, making sure that you're eating super clean so that your body has the opportunity to heal as well, right? As you're trying to detox, because you can't detox if you're eating a crappy diet and you're constantly putting more toxins in your body. And so, and we'll teach other, maybe it's doing a castor oil pack or going to do some sauna or some ozone therapy, hyperbaric. So we'll incorporate lots of different things into that, but we want to address those foundations first. So diets, amino acids, balancing the nervous system, teaching people how to sleep well. If you haven't been sleeping because you've been exposed to mold, we want to get you sleeping well so that your body can heal, and making sure we're assessing those foundations first.
If I were a someone that's, again, suffering from environmental illness and not feeling well, what's the do I give you a call? Are there tests that get taken? Do I go to do, urinalysis or blood work? How do you get down that path? Or do you recommend a CGM for the glucose monitoring? What's that
I
look
I
like?
try to keep it more simple than that, John. So you call, you make an
Okay.
appointment with me. I don't do blood and urine testing for amino acid deficiencies. I use a symptom based questionnaire because I've found over
Okay.
the years that we don't need to do that other testing to assess the amino acids first. So let's do your neurotransmitters. I send you a kit of amino acids. So samples of amino acids in the mail. You get a box. We meet over a Zoom call and we go up based off the assessments. You actually open up the capsule, put the contents under your tongue, and then we wait a couple minutes, stare at each other, and we like, hey, how do you feel? Do you notice anything different cognitively, emotionally, or physically? And it really does happen that fast. And so we'll go through the amino acids that I send you, decide which ones are best for you, start you on those. And then we work on foundations. Then we bring in some detox. And then we go from there and see what's left over.
It sounds like a very personalized
It
approach.
is. It is a
It's
very
not canned.
personalized approach. Yep.
Um, Yeah, that's impressive.
You can't deal with mold, mycotoxin illness with a cookie cutter approach. It just doesn't work.
And that's some of the challenges with some of the modalities or therapies that are out there. It has to be this way for everybody, right?
Yeah,
And people are just different in how they
they are.
respond to things. So that makes perfect sense. So you've been doing this for a while, and one of the things that I always, uh, you know, in helping folks out, like I said, going on now 2 decades, sometimes people just feel lost, and it's like,
Yeah.
this is just my lot in life. This is just the way it is, and I just have to learn to deal with it. And it's not the case
Mm,
oftentimes, right? So
yeah.
if you could share, is there maybe one takeaway that you would have, one kind of beacon of hope for those listening today? If so, what would that be?
That would be that our bodies are designed to heal. And so God created us. He created our bodies to heal. If we remove the interferences, fix those deficiencies, our body knows what to do. So if you haven't experienced that yet, I want you to know that it's out there. And I know some of you are thinking, I have tried everything. You haven't tried everything. I've thought that in my life too. Even as a practitioner, I'm like, you seriously, you want me to do another protocol of something? I'm like, no, I've tried it all. And that's not true.
Mhm.
Like sometimes you have to go through the weeds in order to get to the really good fruit. And so I just had a personal healing in my life where I'm like, really? After all these years, this is finally healing. But it was really exciting. And had I not stuck with it, I wouldn't have never experienced that. So health is a journey. You just
Mhm.
have to keep going. We have to be good stewards of our body all the time. If you're dealing something really hard, just keep going. There are answers out there. You just have to find the right ones.
Yeah, fantastic. Dude, I did want to ask you about the Calm Mom. What I just love the name of it, and I have flashbacks. I have 3 kids, and I just have flashbacks on those days with my wife, Diane. It was like, and so
Yeah.
talk to me about the Calm Mom.
Well, I feel every mom should be able to be calm. Like we shouldn't have to feel like we're losing our minds. Our kids are crazy. They're supposed to be.
Uh-huh.
But, even the kids too, like, why are we crazy? So maybe they need to be, they need some amino acids too. I work with kids too. But I want every mom to feel calm in their body. I want them to love the environment that they're in, and to love the family that God gave them right in front of them. And so if we can balance that brain and you respond appropriately to stress and you're not like, I don't know what to do with these children, that's a win because then we have a ripple effect. We are the calm of the home. We are the heart of the home as the mom. And so if we are happy, it is true. Everybody else is happy. And we have that ripple effect into our family, society, and, it goes out further from that. So I love working with mamas, but I work with other people too. So
Well, that's what my wife keeps telling me. It's that happy wife, happy life thing. She just pounds it in
totally.
all the time. But anyway, this has been great. I really appreciate you carving out time. It's a little bit different approach. I mean, we
Mhm.
understand the need for detox, and we understand, the need to address the environment. So I think this is an additional layer that if it really helps get people on the road to wellness quicker, fantastic. That is a great
Right?
message for those, to understand. For people that want to learn more or get in contact with you, and then actually they talk with you, right? It's not, you don't
Yes, they
have,
talk with me.
okay, wow. So what's the best way, and how do we listen to your podcast? I'm sure that we'll get all that information posted up for those that are watching on YouTube or what have you, but what's the best way to get a hold of you?
So on all social media platforms, I am at Take Back My Brain. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all those, I'm on there. YouTube as well. Or you can go to my website, lauriehammer.com, Laurie, hammer like the tool.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And for
Thanks
those
for having
listening,
me.
it's been a great conversation. We'll have to do it again. For those of you listening, remember, mold recovery and environmental illness, it isn't just about fixing a building. It's about restoring
Mhm.
lives. It really is. At the Mold Pros, we're committed to addressing both the environment and the individual because true healing really requires both. Through our work and our conversations on mold, mycotoxins, and more, we aim to bring clarity, expert insight, and real solutions for those navigating mold exposure or trying to navigate a recovery. So stay informed, stay proactive. And if you know of someone who needs help or support, we're here to help. Send them this link or send them Laurie's information as well. If you found it helpful, give us a review. That's it keeps us going. It helps us spread this message. So we really appreciate you listening. And this has been Mold, Mycotoxins, and More. And we will see you next week. Thank you. You've been listening to Mold, Mycotoxins, and More with John Bodie. If you're ready to take the next step towards a healthier home, follow the show and visit themoldpros.com for your free consultation. Because clean air is the first step to true healing.